The scene in Tehran, the capital of Iran, dramatically changed between last Sunday 8th and Monday 9th, after airstrikes against fuel depots triggered an unprecedented environmental catastrophe in the region. What should have been an ordinary day was suddenly turned into an artificial night, with sunlight completely blocked by a massive toxic cloud, an event that left the population in a state of shock and local authorities on high alert in the face of increasingly unhealthy atmospheric conditions. Unfortunately, the physical destruction of the energy infrastructure was not the only tragic consequence of this event. Official reports confirm that 4 people lost their lives directly as a result of the bombings. Beyond the grief, the country now faces an invisible and insidious threat. The capital is under an urgent warning of acid rain, a direct consequence of the poor air quality that has reached critical levels in the metropolitan area, jeopardizing public health and the integrity of the environment. To understand the origin of the atypical darkness, it is necessary to understand the massive volume of material expelled. The uncontrolled burning of fuel depots generated a curtain of soot so dense and thick that it acted as an opaque physical barrier between the Earth's surface and the sky. According to experts from the Iranian Environmental Agency, this layer of solid particles became so vast that sunlight was prevented from penetrating, creating the sensation of premature dusk during business hours. However, the problem transcends mere light deprivation, entering chemically dangerous territory. The explosion of oil tanks released tons of hydrocarbons and other complex compounds directly into the atmosphere. State agencies confirmed that this combustion released toxic substances that rose to great altitudes, saturating the air with so-called particulate matter, harmful microparticles that, due to their physical nature, have the ability to penetrate deep into the respiratory tract and lodge in organic tissues. The most dangerous aggravating factor occurs when these anthropogenic emissions interact with natural elements, such as the moisture present in clouds. The formation of acid rain, a widely known phenomenon, is now occurring in an intensified manner due to the chemical reaction between toxic gases released by the fire and water vapor in the atmosphere. The result is corrosive precipitation, which transforms rainwater into a highly reactive solution capable of damaging not only urban infrastructure but also living beings. Exposure to this precipitation poses a direct risk to the physical integrity of the capital's residents. Technical reports warn that contact with contaminated water can cause immediate skin lesions and severe irritations, as well as chronic or acute damage to the pulmonary system. The gravity of the situation lies in the fact that the danger is not visible. The corrosive particles remain suspended in the air and precipitate with the rain, creating a hostile environment that makes the basic act of walking outdoors a health threat. It is crucial to analyze this scenario as a problem of critical accumulation of pollutants in a short period of time. The environmental disaster did not happen in isolation, but was exacerbated by a rapid sequence of war events. The bombing of the depots on Sunday occurred shortly after a previous offensive coordinated by Washington and Tel Aviv. This prior bombing of the refinery had already left the atmosphere laden with emissions, and the recent attack served as a death blow to the region's air quality, overwhelming the atmosphere's natural dispersion capacity. In response to this emergency situation, Iranian authorities issued strict protection protocols. The population was instructed to immediately self-isolate, avoiding any type of outdoor activity that would expose individuals to the chemical mist. Furthermore, the use of respiratory protection masks with high-efficiency filters became mandatory for those who need to leave their homes, reinforcing the government's recommendation that residents remain in closed and well-sealed environments until the dissipation of pollutants reduces acidity levels to tolerable levels. Ultimately, What we witnessed in Tehran is a classic example of how the impacts of armed conflict extend far beyond the area directly hit by the missile. The unintentional chemical warfare caused by the destruction of fuel depots demonstrates that environmental degradation can last much longer than the visible flames of wildfires. The challenge in the coming hours will be to monitor air quality and ensure that the population is protected against this invisible enemy, while the political crisis and military tensions continue to unfold in a physically and ecologically deteriorated environment.